here. You can see that we'll have temperatures in the mid to high 50s, and it'll be mostly sunny skies, and it'll be plus a little bit of rain just depending on how it goes. But yeah, on the whole, it's looking like a beautiful week. So study hard, Ann Arbor, and good luck on the push towards finals. That's all I've got here at the weather. Now back to you guys at the front desk.
Thanks, Alex. Looks like it's going to be pretty good for St. Patrick's Day.
Excited.
Hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. Yeah. But we're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, we're going to have Kelsey in the studio with us to give us all of our international news. So don't go away.
To increase the spirit of the show, get more of the fans out of the stadium and into the studio.
And the game was tied at 1 until the third period when Michigan was able to find the back of the net and go on to win by a score of 2-1.
Let's go! Michigan's Jason Jung faced off against the 6th-ranked Dimitri. You suck. You suck. You suck. You suck. You suck. Yeah, that's really not helpul, guys. Thanks.
And despite a late surge by the Gophers, Michigan was able to hold them off and go on to win the game by a score of 75-53, bringing their overall record to 5-7-9 in conference play. All right, this is ridiculous. I'm out of here. I'm done.
But in the end, you know what? I think it's best if they remain in the Big House.
Welcome back to Newsfeed. We have Kelsey in the studio with us to give us all of our international news.
Thanks, guys. On Saturday, 3 people connected to the U.S. consulate in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, were murdered in their cars after leaving a child's birthday party. 2 of the victims were an American couple, consulate employee Leslie Enriquez, who was pregnant at the time of her death, and her husband Arthur Adelves. The couple's 7-month-old daughter was found unharmed in the back seat. The shooting was only one of a part of a very violent weekend in Mexico, where nearly 50 people were killed as a result of apparent gang violence connected to the region's powerful drug cartels. Recently targeted areas also include Acapulco, where many American college students are spending their spring breaks. In response to the escalating threat of harm in the country, the State Department authorized the temporary relocation of the families of U.S. government employees working in the dangerous northern border region. The exact reason that these particular consulate employees were targeted is still unknown. In Bangkok, Thailand, protests to bring down the Prime Minister Abhisit Wechachiewa's 15-month-old government continued today. The red-clad protesters who supported the ousted former leader Thaksin Shinawatra believe that the current prime minister took office illegitimately and are demanding that the parliament be dissolved. As an ultimatum, the protesters are now threatening to spill more than 260 gallons of their own donated blood on the government house. Although the prime minister has already rejected the demands of the protesters, according to a protest leader, medical staff will be recruited to begin blood donation Tuesday morning. While the near 100,000 protesters are certainly heated, they are aiming to keep the protest nonviolent. And finally, panic ensued in the country of Georgia this weekend after a mock newscast pretending to report on a Russian invasion of the country was thought by many to be true. The ensuing frenzy was greatly reminiscent of that caused by Orson Welles' 1938 radio broadcast of the alien invasion-centered War of the Worlds. The mock broadcast in Georgia, however, hit a little bit closer to home, sparking reminders of the August 2008 invasion of Georgia by Russian military forces. The mock broadcast, which featured actual footage of the 2008 conflict, had disclaimers before and after the program stating that it was simulated. But such warnings were missed by many viewers who tuned in at the wrong time. When the television station realized the panic they had created, they immediately issued an apology. And that's all for your international news. Back to Leslie and Whitson.
Thanks, Kelsey. Up next, we have Hadas with all the entertainment news you want to hear, so don't go away. Welcome back to Newsfeed. We have Hadas in the studio to give us our entertainment news.
Thanks, guys. According to reports online, Grey's Anatomy star Katherine Heigl has officially been released from her contract. Heigl has been cited as less than thankful for her job as early as the 2007 scandal between former co-stars T.R. Knight and Isaiah Washington. Since then, she has made several less than flattering statements regarding the show, and once openly stated that she aimed to embarrass her employers. Heigl will not be returning to film any more episodes. With her career on Grey's in the past, Katherine can now focus more on her film career and her newly adopted daughter. And Heidi Montag will grace the big screen in 2011. Last week, Montag was cast in the romantic comedy Just Go With It, along with other stars Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston. With a new career under her belt, Heidi has decided that she no longer needs her husband, Spencer Pratt, to manage her career. She told People magazine that the pair are, quote, no longer Spidey, but Spencer and Heidi, end quote. Montag has hired a new manager to replace her husband, her psychic, Aiden Chase. We'll see how that goes. And finally, Lindsay Lohan is suing E-Trade for using what she claims to be her likeness in a recent ad. The commercial features a milkaholic tramp of a baby stealing another baby's boyfriend. Lohan is demanding a total of $100 million in damages, that the ad be removed from the air, and that all copies be turned over to her. It remains to be seen whether Lohan will benefit from pursuing this frivolous case. It is very possible that after a few months of laying low, Lindsay has simply become bored. That's all I've got. Back to Leslie and Whitson.
Thanks, Hadas. Up next, we have Dan with all your sports news, so don't go away. And welcome back to Newsfeed. We have Dan in the studio to give us all of our sports news.
Thanks, you guys. The Michigan hockey team pulled off a big upset this past weekend by sweeping the 11th-ranked Spartans of Michigan State in East Lansing. The series win sends the Wolverines into the semifinals of the CCHA tournament for the 21st year in a row. The tournament won't get any easier for Michigan as they now take on the top-ranked Miami of Ohio Redhawks at the Joe Louis Arena. The team is hoping to use the momentum gained in the conference tournament to ignite a deep run into the NCAA tournament and a trip to the Frozen Four. In continuing the exciting news, March Madness tips off this Thursday and will give all U of M students a chance to stream live basketball games onto their laptops in lecture halls across campus. The only disappointment is that Michigan will not be a part of the 2010 tournament. Michigan's 1-point loss to Ohio State in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament ended the Wolverines' disappointing season. After starting the season ranked 15th in the nation, nobody would have guessed Michigan would end the season with only 15 wins. All right, you guys, that's all we have for sports tonight. Let's send it back over to Leslie and Whitson.
Thanks, Dan.
That was Speedy News, or
Yes.
Speedy Sports News. Anyways, that's it for tonight's edition of Newsfeed. I'm Leslie Dickinson.
And I'm Whitson Gordon. Have a great night.